looking back at the culture that you said on one podcast really groomed you to be prey for predators, and this happened in many different forms, eventually with your own husband, which is a terrifying thing. What are some of the first red flags within the system that you wish you would have recognized? If you could go back to
Mm.
young Tia and say, "Hey, wake up, look at this. This is not normal. With what I know now, don't go down this path." What red flag do you wish you would have seen?
There are so many.
Mm.
There are so many. Um, where I'm drumming right now, and it's right along this red flag progression, is that
Sure.
the ability to see red flags comes from the ability to think critically. And people can think critically when they have got a healthy sense of self.
Mhm.
So a lot of my like therapy at the moment is going towards child development, like reparenting myself in
Hmm.
child development. Because if you are protecting a child's autonomy and allowing them to develop the way they're supposed to, around 6, 7 years old, they should be able to say, "Hey, someone hurt me. Hey, that this doesn't feel good. Hey, I'm scared." I couldn't say any of those things at that age. So I'd already been there had already been red flags, and the people caring for me should have caught them, but didn't, and some of that's the '80s because I come from a feral generation, but, like, I'm not trying to assign blame, I'm trying to see where the markers were. Certainly by the time I was, going through my rebellious phase, which I now know was grief as,
Hmm.
prepubescent child, and I was in this mega church, and things were not, um, they were not okay. I wish I could have said, "Mom, my youth pastor just taught me what a golden shower and an orgy are. I want like that. Please don't send me back to camp." I wish I could have said stuff like that. I couldn't. I didn't know that it was wrong because it was coming from my pastor, so I didn't, but I wish I could go back and say, like, cover her ears. Like, I learned so many things at church that were R-rated while they were telling me not to go to Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I could go back and just protect her a little bit. Innocence was robbed at church far and away more than outside of church, and that's one of the great ironies that I really try to make a point of in my work today. You're more likely to be interfered with, molested, violated by somebody you know, and if you're always at church, that's gonna be your church. Also, churches do a really shitty job of accountability when abuse, comes to light, and all of those years, abuse was coming to light. There would be gossipy scandals at the church,
Mhm.
and then that's how we ended up in the Independent Baptist Church was through one of those gossipy scandals, and, it should have generated an entirely different conversation, and it didn't. We just continued in this funnel, this ever narrowing funnel.